Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
On this Camper Report Show, Bob, I'm going to be talking with a couple who have kind of like gotten a PhD in camping. They started with a tent, then they went to a pop-up, then they got a travel trailer, and now they're in a fifth wheel. And they have a giant YouTube channel called Find Us Camping. How about you?
I'm going to interview Jeff Runnels, the president and CEO of Keystone RV, and we're going to talk about some of the interesting things that Keystone is doing for consumers.
Wow. Keystone, a big name. Camping, something for everyone. It's all coming up right here. Where, Bob?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody.
Sleeping on the short RV queen topper is as comfortable as sleeping at home. Now that we have the topper on there, it's made all the difference. It's really comfortable.
And the comfort comes from the fact that it's not too firm, nor is it too soft. It's kind of the right level of comfort for being out, especially when you're away from home.
Hey everybody, it's John DePietro. Welcome back to the news segment here on the Camper Report Show. I'm John DePietro, and Bob Zagami is right next to me. And Bob, you know, we've been talking for a year now, or even longer, about how RV sales are going through the roof. And many times, prospective RVers are going to their favorite RV dealership and not finding a unit that they were looking for because they did a little bit of research. So our friends at Winnebago have gone one step ahead and created a portal called Winnebago Insider, which allows them to find out inside stories about some of the new units that are coming out. Tell us a little bit about what's being featured and how that whole program works.
Yeah, it's a new outreach program from Winnebago directly to the consumers. It was introduced at a press conference earlier this week with Hugh Bauer, who's the president of Winnebago Outdoors, that encompasses everything Winnebago does outdoors. And what they've done for the first release is post up 6 videos and product information on 6 of their new units. So consumers can go to the website, spend as much time as they want learning about the product before they go to see a dealer, or in anticipation of a dealer getting the products on the lot.
Because what are those units that we're talking about in this particular case?
The new Hike 100, which is towable off-track, off-grid travel trailer. Micro Mini FLX, which is a compact travel trailer. The new Roam, which is exciting. It's an accessibility enhanced unit with a wheelchair lift built on the Dodge ProMaster chassis. The new Echo Class C motorhome that's getting a lot of publicity, and they've got a lot of orders in-house, and they're just coming off the production line now, and we should start seeing them on the dealers' lots. That was also shown at the Hershey Show with a pop top, a camper top on it. The new Solus Pocket, which was a Class B again with a pop-up top on it, and new Vista and Sunstar 33K floor plans on a Class A gas-powered motorhome, and that's a very popular motorhome in the series. So they can go look at the units, read the video, read the specs, and watch the videos, and get all the information at the Winnebago Insider site.
Yep. And I understand that our friend Traveling Robert is going to be featured in some of the upcoming editions because he has one of those new units, and we'll tell people what he's experienced so far. So that's pretty cool. And we'll have the number, we'll have the email address right down below that people can go to it and find that out. Now, people want to go RVing. Americans want to go RVing. And people from northern North America want to go RVing. And I'm alluding to our friends from Canada that are starting to get a little upset that the border, and we went into the story before, okay? But now it's been announced that at least through the end of October, the border for Canadians coming into the US in an RV is still closed. Talk a little bit about the frustrations that our Canadian friends are experiencing.
Well, it is ridiculous, as they've quoted in the article, that these folks from Canada cannot come through the checkpoints. I mean, there are people up there that hire transport companies and pay them to move the unit from Canada to the United States. say Buffalo, because that's commercial and they can get across. And then they get on an airplane, they fly across the line, land in Buffalo, pick up the RV, and go snowbird to Florida or Arizona or California. So, I mean, it's amazing that these two countries can't sit across the table from each other and say, these purposes, these will be allowed. They're part of the economy. It's good for both countries. All they're doing is, making a lot of RVers mad. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this winter, though, because the other thing we talk about a lot is the number of new first-time buyers. And that's going to equate to a lot of new first-time snowbirds. So will the campgrounds down south really be hurt, or will the spots that would have normally gone to Canadian snowbirds be taken up by American snowbirds that are first-time RVers? Then that presents the problem. If that happens this year, then look ahead a year. What happens the next year when the Canadians can come down? So it's almost, and we talked about this with the campground industry, it's no longer just hit the road and call somebody during the day and hope that you get a campsite. That can still work in many cases. But we now have reservations, and I just found out today that KOA is booking 2 years out. So we have a lot of campgrounds in the Northeast that are taking reservations for 2023.
Yep.
So snowbirds that miss out this year are going to make reservations for 23 and 24.
Yeah.
So when it gets back in action, they'll have a place to go.
Add one more thing to this now. Again, another COVID related issue, that there are so many more Americans that are RVing full time now while they're still working. In other words, we're not talking about snowbird retirees that are coming in from Canada or from the north going south, but people that are of working age that because of COVID, they don't have to be at a brick and mortar office, that can still work remotely just as effectively as before. And because they have an RV, these people are probably going to want to use their unit, and no point of sitting north of Virginia during the winter months when they can head south. So it is going to be interesting. And I think we should probably leave it at that. And for those people that want an RV but don't have an RV yet, they can win one. And our friends at Rolling on TV are teaming up with Care Camps. Am I right?
Care Camps, right.
And there's a brand new Forest River product that is going to be auctioned off. And you tell them what they have to do to try to win that.
Yeah, the auction actually ends on October 25th, and they're a little bit behind on their fundraising efforts. So we want to try to help them out and see if we can get a few more sales. But it's a customized Supernovo 2 with 250 amp lithium battery from Go Power and Solera Power awning from Lippert. Also, it comes with a tandem inflatable kayak to enjoy the outdoors. So there's a whole package to go with it. We'll put the information on where people can go to buy the tickets, but you have to do it between now and the 25th because somebody's going to do it. And all the proceeds are going to Care Camp to help children's camps. Children with cancer going to camps with their families and their doctors and the like. So it's called the Supernovo 2 Sweepstakes. We'll put the link down there, but this is the second year that they've done this with a Novo unit. So look forward to it. It'll be a one of a kind. When you go into the campground, you will have the only one. It looks like they will know you're there, and they'll know that you probably won it in the sweepstakes. And it's a great looking unit, custom graphics, customized all around. So that'll be good.
It looks beautiful.
And think of it this way: they're talking about having a difficult time getting Christmas gifts because of all the shipping problems and cargo ships. Guess what? You could put this under your Christmas tree, buy a few extra tickets, and Christmas shopping's all done for the whole family.
Exactly. That's the way it is. So with the story of Winnebago, the Canadians, and Winnebago, that wraps up our news segment. Stay with us. We've got two great programs that we're going to talk about. And we also want to thank our friends at RV Business and Woodall's Campground Magazine for providing us with the news for this segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back on what show, Bob?
The Camper Report Show.
Mike here from RV Blogger. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on an external GPS for your RV. All you need to do is download the RV Life app right onto your phone. This app is so cool. It has RV GPS built right into it. So you can load all the specific measurements and weights for your RV. It'll give you directions safe for your RV to follow. And by the way, if you have RV Trip Wizard, directions for your trips upload into this GPS automatically.
All right, welcome back everybody to the Camper Report Show, and my guest today is Jeff Runnels, President and CEO of Keystone RV. Jeff, thanks for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us today.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so Keystone is on a roll. You just came off a great show in Hershey, and so talk a little bit about SolarFlex, where you've just introduced that particular product. I think our consumers would really be interested in how that's going to impact them.
Well, yeah, we first of all, Hershey, we were blown away with the response. We didn't know exactly what to expect going into Hershey. As far as attendance and retail, obviously it's been an amazing season, but so we really put all of our focus into SolarFlex, as you mentioned, and it's our new solar program that we made a concerted effort, just before COVID started, actually, we wanted to bring solar to everyone in the industry. Obviously, with campgrounds being full, more and more new buyers coming into the RV space, more tech being involved in the RV space. We've had a lot of people ask for the ability to power their units off grid. And so, we had done a soft introduction several years ago with our Montana brand with what we're now calling the SolarFlex, the 1200i. And it's a fairly robust system. It's not inexpensive, but when you step back and look at what retail customers are paying on the, after the fact to outfit their units with, panels, lithium batteries, and all of the accoutrements that go into to make that work. And the amount of work that they were having to do on systems that were already out there. I mean, obviously it's not easy to take an RV apart, especially with a lot of laminated parts and pieces. So when we looked at our 1200i package that we rolled out with Montana, the success we had with that led us to believe, man, there's got to be an even more affordable way to do this. And then if there is, can we put different levels of packages together so we can make it available to everyone? And so that's what we did. We spent the last 2 years really developing this. We partnered with a lot of big names, people who are the biggest and the best in the solar space. And so we're really proud of those partnerships as well. And that's where SolarFlex came from. So at Hershey, it was really our foray into getting it out there. And every Keystone unit now coming offline has some form of solar on it.
And that was, I did an article for RV Pro magazine, and that was one of my 10 takeaways from the show. The fact that as an industry, we got to a point where we said, okay, now we have solar and we have lithium batteries, just from an awareness standpoint. Then we went to the point of, well, let's get them prepped for solar and the batteries. So if they want to add them, and now it's gone mainstream. The technology is there. Certainly the benefit to the consumer is there. So it's gone full circle, and you're out there in front of that, which is fantastic. Taking that a step further, one of the things that I found very impressive on your website is the educational aspect. You've got a section on your website called Videos and Advice. And right now I found about 27 consumer-oriented videos that are really unique in the sense that you hope that the PDIs and the walkthroughs are done the right way. But we all know that when customers get a walkthrough, the only thing they want to do is go camping. They listen to very little. But you've provided an arsenal of tools here that I hope all of our dealers are taking advantage of. But speak to that from a consumer standpoint and why that's important to Keystone.
Well, I appreciate that you saw that. We've the last 2 or 3 years, we've really grown our marketing department. We do a lot of in-house videos here, and we field a lot of questions for folks who maybe haven't had an RV before, or even have had an RV before, and they go through a 20-minute to 1 hour walk around at the dealership, and they're good walk arounds. But immediately, that doesn't all sink in a 20-minute walk around. So we get a lot of calls, and dealers get a lot of calls on very simple things. And until you've gone through an RV and used it, camped in it 2 or 3 times, you just don't remember all the systems. And so we decided about a year ago that we wanted to just hit the bit. We've always had a good YouTube following. We've always done a lot of videos, but we haven't had one place for somebody to come in and look at all those videos. So we started populating our website with, some of the basics, how to set up your RV. As simple as getting to the campsite, backing it in, leveling it, and, getting all your equipment hooked up. And now we're diving deeper into that. So you'll see us continue to populate that library. I think, like you said, we've got between 27 and 30 videos right now. I'd say before the end of the year, we've got another 25 to 30 videos that we'll put out there. And we hope at some point to get this even brand specific or floor plan specific, to where we can talk about some of the nuances in somebody's individual RV. Right now, they're very broad, and they could be helpful for the entire industry, not just for Keystone stuff, but maybe for other RVs out there. And we hope to continue to drill that in and just make that a really full library where a customer can go there to get answers on anything.
Yeah. One of the other things that's important is the interior of the units. And, that was always kind of a sore spot for the women. When they would walk through, they'd see all the dark colors and everything. But you've got a great brand ambassador in Courtney Armstrong. Talk a little bit about that program and the impact that she's had on building units that are going to get the attention of today's women in terms of interiors and colors and what have you.
Well, Courtney has been a great ambassador for us for a couple of years now. Obviously, she built, along with some of our folks here, the Ultimate Montana, and we really flexed not only her know-how of RVs, but our own and our vendors as well. And so we put together some nice relationships there. And from there, that relationship just continues to kind of snowball. She has such a great following. She has such great ideas. And so we found that, at first it was nice because organically she had picked Montana. She really liked working on them. And so she brought some of, her knowledge of what people are looking for, what they're frustrated with, and they can't find. And a lot of it came down to simple decor. And so through what we learned from her following, we kind of took that and applied it to, okay, not everybody wants brown. Not everybody wants, flowers. Not everybody wants, necessarily even what they have in their house. And so it's given us the courage to kind of step out a little bit, look at trends that may be more current, maybe even a little more forward thinking. This year, in our Springdale and Outback is a really good example. We introduced black cabinets. That would have been something you'd never see us do, 2 or 3 years ago, or even 10 years ago, with, brass hardwares and everything's secular. You'll see things come around and come and go in the industry. We still have some units that are a little more mainstream with a nice brown decor, but yeah, she really taught us, we launched the Arcadia brand. This first new brand we've come out with at Keystone in several years. We launched it last year at Tampa, and that was based on a very fashion forward farmhouse decor, very white, very bright, very light, and due in large part to a lot of things that we learned from Courtney.
Okay, so let's finish up our interview with a talk about what we call the Dealer Satisfaction Index, or the Quality Service Awards by RVDA. But before we talk about that, let's put it in perspective. Thor is now a $12.3 billion company, up from $8 billion the year before. You've got a backlog of $16 billion. But it's unique because the way Bob runs it is these are all individual companies. So yeah, there's 17 brands for Thor. You yourself have 16 brands under the Keystone banner, and yet you have a close personal attachment to both your consumers, but also the dealers. Talk about the importance of the DSI awards.
Well, the dealers are, you said it, we have a relationship with retail, but first and foremost, we have a relationship with our dealers. They're our conduit to get to retail, and we rely on them for a lot, not just, helping get the unit ready for the customer when it hits their lot, but then also for service after the fact. And so what those DSIs mean to us is that we're not only communicating well with our dealers, but our product is communicating well with them, and that they get it. And it's serviceable, it's ready to go out. It makes good sense to the customer. And if they do have a problem, our teams here, especially on the service side, step up and take care of it. And so, we've really watched that DSI since inception. It's meant a lot because it's one thing when you call a dealer and say, hey, how's this stuff looking? Or how are we to work with? Or again, we try to do that as much as we can. But it's another thing when you see a survey come out where they haven't had to answer questions directly to us. This is, it's a little bit easier for them to be honest. And so we put a lot of stock in that DSI, and we were glad to see, how our brands fared this year.
Well, and you're right. It's directly to the survey itself. And I think it's the best way for the dealers to really get their message out there, and customers, companies should be very proud when they get that. And you had 6 of your brands. You had Alpine, you had Avalanche, Cougar, Montana, in the Montana High Country, and the Raptor and Carbon. So you got 7 of your brands there that qualified for this. So that's a tremendous honor. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, we are honored and we appreciate it. Our service team in particular works hard for those. So we're proud of that.
Okay. Our guest this morning has been Jeff Runnels, President and CEO of Keystone RV. Jeff, it's always good to catch up with you. I know you're a busy man. I'll let you get back to work, but thanks for joining us on the Camper Report Show.
I appreciate it very much.
I'm Jesse from Outsiders Calling, and I love adventurous family travel with my wife Jenny and our son Tucker.
For over 3 years, we've RV'd across the U.S. and Mexico, and it's tough to find places that meet all our needs.
Now we plan our trips with the RV Trip Wizard, pull it up in the RV Life app, select it, and go.
It helps us discover amazing new places to grow together as a family.
RV Trip Wizard with the RV Life app is an awesome trip planning combination.
You can get both for one low annual price. Check out rvlife.com to learn more.
Hey everybody, it's John DePietro. Welcome back to the Camper Report Show. And as I've said over and over again for the past year, you meet the most interesting people at campgrounds. And in this place, we have met an interesting couple at an RV show. And I'm going to have them join us here. We've got Jimmy and Lisa, and they are YouTube sensations, right?
I don't know about sensations,
Wow,
but you did say different types of people.
Right, yeah,
That's
exactly.
us.
Exactly.
And we do YouTube.
And you do YouTube.
So,
Okay. I mean, you do a lot of things involved in the RVing world. I mean, you own an RV.
Yes.
You're ambassadors for
Keystone,
and you've got a YouTube channel, and you're also a contributor to our parent company, RV Life. So we want to welcome you here. Now, we're at a major show. We're in Hershey, Pennsylvania. What are you doing here?
Well, we are here to film some campers.
So we do camper tours or walkthroughs and campground tours, but what better place to do a camper tour than the RV show?
The RV show.
They're everywhere.
Especially today, since it's media day and there's nobody here.
Exactly.
So it's even better.
It's a lot easier than doing a camper tour when you're at a campground, when you have to knock on the door and ask the person who lives there.
Can I come in and do a
right?
tour of your rig, please?
Right. So tell us a little bit about your RVing background, how long you've been RVing, and what you like best about it.
Well, we kind of disagree a little bit on how long we've been RVing. I think it's been at least 15 years. We started in a little pop-up.
Well, my daughter was 4, and
Four.
she's 20.
Okay, so 16 years.
So
Okay.
you don't have to be a math wizard.
There's a
16
big
years.
difference between 15 and 16
Well, she used to
years,
say
right?
more than that. I used to say a little more.
We
than
did
that.
start in a tent years ago. It was bad.
So I don't consider that RV.
It wasn't good for
Right.
us. So the pop-up, my daughter was 4.
But so many people start with a tent and then graduate to the pop-up, to
We
the
went-
travel trailer, and
That's
some.
exactly how we
That's
did it.
exactly it.
Exactly how you did it.
All the way up to the fifth wheel, now to the toy
Toy
hauler.
hauler.
Okay, and you make your home and where in the United States?
We do still have a Sticks and Bricks, which is just south of Richmond in Virginia.
In
so
Virginia.
That's home base if we have to go there, but we try to stay on the road as much as possible.
Okay. So whose idea was it to get into RVing in the beginning, at the start?
Okay, mine.
Because he wanted to, we didn't have a toy hauler. Again, it was a pop-up, but he had 4-wheelers and all those crazy toys.
Oh, okay.
So you don't want to go to the 4-wheeler place and ride 4-wheelers all weekend and then have to drive all the way home.
So now we've taken the 4-wheelers out.
Yeah. We got
out
all
of the
got rid of the
equation.
four-wheelers.
Now we
Oh,
have a toy hauler.
A toy hauler with nothing in the back.
We have bicycles.
We have e-bikes.
We have e-bikes.
So
Oh, you
So
have e-bikes.
We
okay.
had all the 4-wheelers and now in the pop-up. Now we got rid of the 4-wheelers and bought the toy hauler. Something doesn't seem.
Now, that's
there.
interesting that you mentioned e-bikes, because I have one, and we put it in the back of the motorhome and go places with it. But doesn't it the fact is, we did a segment on one a few months ago, and it turned out to be one of our highest viewed segments. What do you like about your toy hauler?
The toy hauler?
The e-bike.
What I like about the e-bike is we had a golf cart and we had to stay in the camper.
Yep.
We couldn't really go out. In some places, even though it is street legal, you're not allowed to drive on the streets.
And it made us really lazy.
So
Yeah, right.
We were in Orlando, and we were kind of stuck in the campground, and we saw these people riding their bikes out, and I thought, wow, okay, let's get rid of the golf cart, and we will buy a couple e-bikes, and we can go anywhere we want to go.
Well,
so
first we talked about bikes.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
our
bikes.
friends were like, yeah, if you go out of the campground and turn right, there's this cool place down there, but it's uphill the whole way back. And I went, yeah, I don't know if that sounds like a great
so
thing
now
to me.
what we can do is we can ride our bikes as far as we can possibly ride, and then if we get tired, we just throttle on
assist.
back
Right.
and assist back.
And you know, the word assist is the key word here, because a lot
we
of
still
people
pedal.
think,
Yeah, we still
Yeah,
pedal.
people
even though
think you just push
Right.
the button and ride, like it's a moped
I mean,
or
you
a
could,
motorcycle, but you don't.
You do have that assist, and it does keep you young. So what would you say to people? I'll start with you, Jimmy. What would you say to people that are on the fence about buying their first RV?
Well, we have kind of a slogan on that. What was it? Do you know what the slogan was? Don't be afraid of it. It's the
Don't be what did we say? I don't know.
no, I can't remember what it was. Basically, get
Don't
out.
let the fear.
Don't let the fear.
of RVing stop you.
Yeah, don't-
Get out.
Get out,
Do it.
because if you don't get out there, you're never gonna learn.
Right.
And when on our YouTube channel, that's what we try to promote. We try to show people how we've come from where we were to where we are now, and we try to help all the campers. So
And
if you
don't
don't
wait, just don't wait, because you're gonna.
That was my biggest thing I asked a lot of full timers. I said, if you can do one thing, what would you do? And they said, start early. So it's the same thing on
He
RV.
started a little slowly, but once we got him going, he's pretty good, huh?
see? Yeah.
So it's the key is just get out there and go. And if you don't once you get out there and go, you're gonna enjoy it. Even if you don't like the outdoors, you're in a different
You don't
place.
have to be outdoors.
You're in a different place all the time.
All the time. And tell us the name of your YouTube channel, because I have been negligent as a host in not saying the name of the channel.
Find us camping. That's
Find
simple.
us
Find
camping. In other words, go to YouTube.
Go
Find
anywhere.
Anywhere and type
Anywhere.
Find Us Camping.
Find Us Camping.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Okay.
Anywhere.
So the type of content that you have on the YouTube channel.
So we do RV tours, we do campground tours, and then we do like just helpful tidbits like gadgets or different ways that you're outside hooking something up and you go, I could do it this way, and why didn't I think of that 6 months ago? Those little aha moments.
We
that
just
you can
did a
share that
series
make
on
life
Tuesday.
easier.
We have a Tuesday Talks.
Tuesday Talk.
That's what it's
That you
called.
go live?
No, we don't go live. It's
But
just
it's
a
just a
short
short
Tuesday
video.
talk for our
Okay.
readers.
Yep.
So we literally went from lining up where you want to go through RV life,
Yep.
lining up how you want to schedule it, picking your campsite, getting to the
Getting
site, unhooking, setting everything up, doing what you need to do, hooking back up, leaving out of the campsite and going. So we did it's just a short series of all of those.
Because a lot
so
of people
everybody knows.
think that
an
it's
easy-
back-breaking work, and you've got
I mean,
so
it
many.
can be.
It can be.
But there's an easier way.
Right. And when you set up and break down, do you work together, or do you
work
say
together.
stay out of you?
We
We ask people to stay out of our way.
Okay.
But we have a routine. If somebody comes with us, they want to help and I said, no, you're not going to help today. Just get out of our way. We have a routine. She knows what she does. I know what I do. That way,
If
I don't
somebody
strap
helps
the
you,
TV.
you don't skip something, because I think you did it and you don't know you were supposed to do
Right.
it, and it doesn't get
Exactly.
done, and then it's a
Everything we
a
do,
spill.
we don't usually stay anywhere longer than 14 days. Some days it's one night. So we've learned we can set up and break down a camper in less than 15 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty
In and
good.
out. And that's a 45-foot with hoses and everything.
Yep.
So
Yep.
You
Exactly.
just got to get in a routine.
Yep. Well, we want to thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule here. We saw you walking the floor of the show here, and we said, these people look interesting. And folks, I'm
once
sure
again,
you'll
we are
agree.
interesting.
They are interesting people. They're Jimmy and Lisa. They're from the Richmond, Virginia area. They go all over the United States. Their YouTube channel is what?
Find us camping.
Find Us Camping.